got a big mouth. Came out there. I talk from my heart. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes, comes. But my controversy probably. And it's not my fault. I'm trying to find my way in the world. You know, I'm trying to be somebody instead of just make money off everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so I go down paths that haven't been traveled before, and I usually mess up. But I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant, you know what I'm saying? So I obviously put thought into what I do. Your karma, everything that you do bad comes back to you. So anything that I'm doing that's bad, I'm going to have to suffer for it. But in my heart, I think what I'm doing is right. You know what I mean? And I think heaven is just, when you sleep with a good conscience. You don't have nightmares. And hell is...
What's going on, everyone? I'm so happy you decided to join me on this journey called Podcast Life. We will be discussing topics like celebrity gossip, life lesson, politics, and etc. This is a judge-free zone. Think of me as that homegirl that is so down to earth that you feel like you've been knowing for years. Remember, over here at the Boomerang Effect, the motto is never judge a book by its cover before opening it up and reading it. And remember, it's okay to agree to disagree. Just stand on what you're saying. Got it? Period. Please like, comment, share, give feedback, anything to help this podcast grow, because it is a voice for the people. So, love, peace, and unity. Mwah! Hello everyone, it is your girl Queen Queen, and this is the Boomerang Effect. Today we will be talking about, do Black lives really matter, or is it all a dream? Is it all a saying to sound cool or to feel woke? And for people that's trying to figure out what is woke, what do you mean by woke? Is it when people sit over here and preach about one thing, or they're so deep rooted into the situation to the point where it's kind of like they pro-black all the way. Like, I'm woke. You can't get nothing past me. It's black, blackity, black, 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 black. It's all about my people. So, yeah. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because, of course, in the news today, and there's so much different stuff that's happening. Even by me just sitting back trying to gather myself together to talk about this subject, it took a lot out of me. It took a lot out of me to even do this podcast, because it was very draining, and it's very traumatizing to even have to read over this stuff and look at videos and stuff like that. But we're going to get through this, because this is something that needs to be talked about and get different people's opinions about the subject. First thing up, George Floyd killer Derek Chauvin, something like that. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. I'm not looking at my notes. But he was found guilty. So of course everyone was definitely excited about the decision to find him guilty. He was guilty on all counts. He is facing up to 20 years. Now, my thought on the situation, I was like, okay. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. My honest thought was, okay, I'm glad that they did that, because let's just be honest, they did not want another Rodney King situation. And a lot of that was discussed even after the trial, that that's what kind of persuade a lot of the jury and everything else, because they didn't want to play them too close, because the reason why they made for sure that he was guilty, or he was found guilty and was gonna have to do some type of consequences, is because of the riots and people making a big deal about the situation. Because they're saying that if it wasn't for people making a big deal and, sacrificing their time, their energy, and gathering all around and trying to make a stand, that this really could have been swept up under a rug. So is this really a victory for us? Uh I think not really. I think that to a certain extent it is. I'm glad, but at the end of the day, this man has still lost his life. And the thing that I wanted to sit up here and bring up, my son had a shirt. He came back from his aunt house, and he had a shirt that had George Floyd. She had made him a shirt that had George Floyd on it, and it said, "I can't breathe." So it was crazy, because later on that night, my son was, playing on his game, and he came in the room and he was like, Mom, if I tell you who this man is on my shirt, you got to give me a PlayStation 5. So I'm looking at him like, what the heck? Like, you trying to get this PlayStation 5? You know what I'm saying? Like, you think I'm finna, like, okay. So, anyways, he was just like, LeBron James. And so I started laughing because I was like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like LeBron James, like, oh no. 1 minute I was laughing mostly because I'm like, hey, I just got out of not having to get you a PlayStation. But it also made me think. I was like, I had to look at the bigger picture because in that moment I thought to myself that a lot of times we don't talk to our kids about incidents and stuff like that because we look at them as being pure and innocent. But I have to realize that as soon as my son start growing, start getting taller, his voice start being deeper, he is considered a threat. He is still a black man. And so that's when I had took out the time and I had told my son and I kind of explained to him, and just to be honest with you, I never seen the video. I never seen the video. So it was kind of crazy because I was like, okay, let me get on Google and I'm gonna read something out to my son because I didn't know how to present it to my son. He's only 7 years old for to be 8. So I was looking up some stuff and then I was like, okay, here go a video. I never had watched the video because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a lot of stuff that I cannot watch because it traumatized me. I don't even like watching. I remember what was that for us? It was a movie that was on Netflix with the boys or whatever. I could not watch stuff like that. I can't watch a lot of slave music. It's just my mind, my heart. I'm not clueless. I'm not trying to act like everything was good and nothing never happened and stuff like this still doesn't happen. But it really does something to my spirit to the point where I can't take it. So that's the only reason why I don't watch different type of videos or would it come down to fighting or something crazy going on because I cannot take it and it's traumatizing to me. You can't get upset because people don't want to look at graphic images or videos. So I go by the word, I go by people's word. But this particular night, I went ahead and sat down and looked at the video. So I looked at the video and I began to have tears in my eyes because as I'm looking at this video and this man crying out, and you know what I'm saying, and he's a big black strong man, you know what I'm saying, and for him to cry out and basically begging, you know what I'm saying, for his life to be spared, it hurted me, you know what I'm saying? I was crying because I had to also look at my son and explain to him. So of course I had a talk with my son after the video and trying to explain to him exactly what's going on, what happened, who is Floyd, why are we protesting and stuff like that. Because it's very important to let our kids know. We think that oh, they're innocent. The police won't do nothing to them. But you got to think about it. The police is out here killing people that is around their age. You know what I'm saying? They're killing teenagers. They're killing all type of age difference and stuff like that. So I have to really don't be oblivious. You see what I'm saying? Like don't be clueless and feel like it can't happen to me. So the most cringing thing my son said was, also, Mom, they killed them because they were scared of him because of his skin. And I began to pause and could not really say something because sad to say that a lot of these deaths that's coming into the police hands are because of their skin color. You know what I'm saying? They're so fearful. We have a strong, dominated, spirit about us to the point where it intimidates people. We don't even have to open our mouth and they see the strength within us and then they get scared. But you got Becky over there talking all that noise and who she fit to call and who she'll go off on and slap or whatever, but you don't feel threatened by them. But a black woman like me talk and I talk clearly and then I talk strong. And sometimes they swerving and you screaming. I ain't screaming. I'm just talking. I'm having a conversation. Now all of a sudden I'm violent. You see what I'm saying? I'm ghetto. I'm aggressive. So you have to be very mindful of how things go in society. So of course I'm excited that, he will be he will be basically paying for the consequences of what he did to that man, to George Floyd. But then on the other hand, I don't put nothing past the system. I wouldn't be surprised if they take that man and they tell us that we he put him in jail and they been there and had that man somewhere on the island somewhere. Hey, get another job. They say we're gonna switch it, we're gonna take you from back here out here, we're gonna throw you somewhere else because I just don't see them basically making him pay for everything. It would have never went down like that if it was a black cop. Even if it was a black cop who killed George Floyd, they would have never even took it that serious. Or even if it was, you know what I'm saying, another situation where it was a black cop that killed the white man, it would have never even been this far. So, yeah. So let me know what you think about the George Floyd. Are you satisfied? Do you feel like it's good enough? Do you feel like that it's all hocus pocus? It's something, it's a thin line, like they basically was just trying to do it so they won't have another Rodney King riot and stuff get messed up doing all this. Yeah, let me know what you think about that George Floyd. But nevertheless, rest in peace, George. Uh, okay, let's get into it. The next topic is New Orleans man jailed for 20 years for stealing two shirts is freed by Justice Group. A man who, okay, let me say, a man who was to be jailed for 23 years for stealing two shirts was set free thanks to a group that helps to appeal unjust sentences. Guy Frank was arrested in 2000 for a minor shoplifting incident at Saks Fifth Avenue because he had three prior convictions. I'm sorry, convictions for theft. He was considered an offender and eligible for a harsh sentences enhancement under Louisiana law. Frank claims that his court-appointed attorney pressured him to plead guilty, but his 2 year sentence was increased to 20 and then 23 years by a judge. He ended up spending 2 decades in prison. But then Meredith Angeles with a nonprofit law firm, the Innocent Project New Orleans, took notice of his case and sent it to the district attorney office. Frank, now 66, was set free on April the 8th. The Innocent Project has helped free 6 people from serving life in prison terms because the offender law, which was since overturned in the state. I'm sorry. But that is so crazy. This man is 66 years old. He have served 20 years, you guys, over two shirts. Two shirts. Saks Fifth Avenue. You telling me this man have, I don't care what his record consists of. We have locked this, y'all have locked this black man up for 20 years over two shirts. And it took a group, a nonprofit organization, to gather around and let it be known and try to get him out of jail and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. And then they feel like they didn't do him a favor. Like, yeah, we gonna go ahead and let you go and overturn it. And we didn't look into it. Y'all did not do this man a favor. It's just sickening to know that this man has spent a decade in jail over two shirts. A black man. But you got white kids running around here with all type of guns and all type of drug possession and DWIs and all that type of stuff, and y'all ain't did nothing. They get a slap on the wrist, a little probation here and there, some classes. So I really want to know because they like he done stole these shirts and stuff like that. Was he stealing the shirts because he was homeless? He was trying to make a living. He was trying to make you know what I'm saying, provide and stuff like that. But they do say Louisiana is one of the hardest states, like, to get out of the system. Like, they claim once you in the system in Louisiana, boy, you might as well wrap it up because how did him pleading guilty for 2 years the judge end up giving him 20? I would have said, Ken Capasso, huh? Well, hold on. We taking this to trial. Because it ain't no way I'm going to sit up here and do 20 years over two shirts. That is ridiculous. So I'm glad to know that this man have seen the day where he was free. He didn't have to be basically locked up, period. But I'm definitely glad that he was at least able to be set free. and he was still alive to be set free, because some people end up dying in jail, innocent person. So that was one thing, like, wow, like, woo, it's so many black people, black men and women that are in jail over petty crimes or over little stuff. And at the end of the day, people overlook it. This is the type of stuff people need to start looking into these cases. Y'all holding up the jails in there, and we got predators and killers and stuff out here, and y'all holding up the jail system for, somebody that sent over here stole two shirts. Come on now. Okay. Next subject, we will be talking about a young lady named Ma'Khia Bryant. Okay. The family of a 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant, who was shot and killed by an Ohio police officer Tuesday, is considering filing a lawsuit. The teen cousin, Deja Torrance, said that the family feels someone has to be held accountable. Bryant was shot and killed after calling the police for help when two women showed up at her foster home in Columbus to fight her. Body camera footage shows that Bryant was shot when police arrived at the scene after she swung at a woman with a knife. Terrence told Insider that her mother and Bryant's birth mother, Paula, want to take legal action. The family believes that the teen was failed by the foster care system and maintains that Bryant was not a violent person. She says that family had previously spoken to Bryant about walking away from conflict and that she knew not to go near weapons unless her life was in danger. We're talking about a kid. She's a kid. She's 16, defending herself from 20 something year olds, Torrance said. If I felt threatened, if I felt like a group of individuals was coming on my property where I live to fight me, I would get whatever I needed to protect myself. Brian foster parents Angela Moore told CNN that teen was arguing with two former foster children who were fighting about the house being messy. Moore was at work at the time of the shooting. The officer involved, Nicholas, has been placed on desk duty. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is looking into the shooting. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm sorry, guys. Let me take a drink of water. So, yeah. Oh my God. So, this incident right here has got a lot of people undecided. A lot of people that seen the video that was feeling like, well, at the end of the day, she came on. The young ladies, the 20-year-old girls that came on the property trying to fight, trying to jump her. She came outside. She tried to defend herself. She's at home on her property, and she came. She just did what she had to do to protect herself. And then some people are feeling like, no, at the end of the day, you guys had already called the police. You had already called the police. You had already called your dad or whatever the situation was. And at the end of the day, when the police got there, instead of you staying in the house and, staying out the way and letting them de-escalate the situation, you decide to come out there and start swinging a knife. And the police was not going to just sit up there and let you basically start, Texas chainsawing everybody. So therefore, they decided to go ahead and he shot her four times. Four times. Now, it has been reported that he shot four times, but only one bullet hit her. So she wasn't actually shot four times. One bullet did hit her in the mix. First of all, I send my condolences to the family. Uh what I feel about the situation, I really feel like that death was you firing that gun was definitely not a good reason, period. You could have de-escalated the situation uh by doing a lot of other things. And I just feel like that this is crazy because it is on the fence because me personally, I have been in a situation where when I was looking at this and I think the mom was saying like how they had been told their daughter like just to walk away from the conflict, don't indulge in it. I have been in a situation where it had to be a build up. And then, like, I don't know, a lot of people might sit up here and say, like, my buzzer was pushed. Like, you have let people make it for so long. And then finally, when you snap, you looked up as the crazy person because you have let them torture you. You have let them disrespect you. You have sometimes even let them be physical and mentally draining to you. And you kept on trying to press through. And in that one good, faithful day, you just had enough. Do I feel like she had a right to defend herself? Yes, I do have a right, but I feel like anybody that show up to somebody's property, I don't care if you sit up here and drop the address and tell them what time to come. Anybody that comes to another person's property where they lay their head at, and then they sit up here and choose violence, then that is a consequence. I do feel like that should be allowed. You have the right to defend yourself. It's a difference in we meeting up the street or we meet to the park, and then hey, some jump off, it just jump off. Cause everybody quick to say it ain't no fair fight, but it definitely ain't no fair fight when you come to the crib. Cause you know what I'm saying, up the street, I might have would have had to, kick your behind, and I would have let you go on and get these hands. Cause we out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Like we met up, we on mutual ground. But when you come to my house, where I lay my head at, where my kids lay my head at, 9 times out of 10, I gotta leave after that. So you best to believe we finna go out with a bang. Because now you done already disrespected, you know what I'm saying, like where I stay at. Now I'm paranoid because I don't know how you coming when you coming. So I do feel like she had a right to defend herself. I do not agree. I do, you know what I'm saying, do agree with some people when they sit up and say she should have never came outside with a knife and start swinging it when the police was there. Anybody know to be on your best behavior. I done seen the most craziest people act the behind, act the fool. Even dope fiends sit up here and get their act right when they see the police. Cause everybody want to clear it up and let the police know, like, hey, I ain't the one confrontation. So I hate the fact that her emotions got so involved and she came out there and she started swinging that knife and going crazy with you know what I'm saying, everything. Yes, at the end of the day, the police like, okay, we was called over here to de-escalate the situation. You done came out the house after you done called us. Now you swinging a knife, trying to aim it and trying to get to the girl. I'm not trying to be funny. I ain't playing with nobody with no knife. You even pull out a gun, I'm ducking. I'm going about my business. I just hate the fact that he used a gun. You could have used a taser. You could have maced her because that's a knife. That's not a gun. That's not a gun. She would have dropped that. So I'm pretty sure she wasn't used to a certain type of, she wasn't gonna be used to no taser and being maced. So she would have definitely went into shock, and then that could have saved not only her life but multiple lights on it. We could have started putting cases on these young ladies that came to her house trying to jump her over something called a messy room. Are you kidding me? As I said for time when they be out there, Black Lives Matter, but we sitting out here getting called, police is getting called, and over people sitting over here fighting over a messy room. I didn't see people fight over petty stuff, but a messy room. A kid is dead. A young lady is dead behind the foster parents, because from my understanding, the foster parents was the people that called the girls up over there, like, hey, come over here. She don't want to clean up. She don't want to do that. It's so much within this story that I be want to know. I'm like, why is she in foster care? Why, you said you told your mama told you, you know what I'm saying, don't deal with that. And she even talked to the foster people. So I ain't trying to be funny, saying like mama had good sense. Why are you in foster care? Why is the dad on the scene when you get in? Like, you didn't call your daddy, you didn't wait until your daddy pull up. Why was this young lady in foster care? That was number one. Then they like, oh, she had issues. Anybody in foster care, 9 times out of 10, they have some type of issues. Anybody that's in foster care. It's kind of like they on some Sophia shit. All my life I had to fight. So at the end of the day, we don't know how much this girl was provoked, how much stuff has been stolen, how much personal space has been invaded. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she was uprooted up out of a situation where her mom and dad really did love her, and they probably, because some of these kids get put in foster care over people being petty, calling CPS on their mom and dad, thinking they trying to get back at them. But at the end of the day, you put your kid in foster, their kids are being put in foster care with all type of predators and messed up kids from all type of different backgrounds of life. And it's like people are so childish and petty because they know that that's the way they're gonna get to you is through your kids. So I thought that was crazy because I was like, dang, what the mama and them knew, and everybody knew the girl was in foster care. Could nobody else get her? Why is she at these people's house in foster care and dealing with situations where they jumping on her, they keep on picking on her. So that was her case. That was definitely her case. And I want to know what you guys think about this case. Do you feel like that it was justified? Do you feel like that not that she deserved it, but it was justified? He had to do what he had to do to de-escalate the police, de-escalate her because she had the knife, and she should have never had the knife. Do you feel like that no matter what, he should have let her, he should have basically stood back and let it go? I don't, me personally, that is up in the air. And I do want to sit up here and read a report about something else that was attached to the case. And what seemed to be a never-ending cycle. Many celebrity Derek Chauvin guilty conviction while mourning the death of a 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant. Oh yes, and this was the day that in the George Floyd case, when the man was found guilty, this happened the same day. So you guys have to understand, like, we like, oh my God, one police officer go to jail, and now this black young girl then died behind a police officer. So okay. Brian was shot and killed at the hands of police in Columbus, Ohio. Neighbors of the teens are speaking out in the incident, detailing moments leading up to the fatal shooting. The neighbors also insist that the police had no choice but to shoot, according to a report. A man one of the neighbors had said, was pulling up in his driveway when he saw the fight unfolding on Tuesday. He told the Columbus Dispatch they were calling each other to beware, so I figured it was just a girl fight. He recalled screaming match escalating and walking back into the home. When police arrived, he said he heard 4 shots as his wife, Rachel, dove to the floor. The man went to the window where he saw Bryant's lifeless body on the ground. It was violent, and all and all just happened so fast. He said another neighbor also reported hearing the gunshots on Tuesday. He also recalls seeing the police perform CPR on Bryant. After watching the body camera footage, he says, I believe in truth and facts. Video doesn't lie, he said. She was in full attack mode, he added. She needed to be stopped at that point. That young lady's life was at stake. Bryant neighbors Tommy Taylor questioned why police didn't opt for a taser instead of a fatal shooting. The teen, he should have told her to put down the knife. And yeah, a lot of people, like I said, per se, these are the neighbors. These are the neighbors that actually seen it. Her neighbors, that the street that she stayed on, is saying that they side with the police. They feel like that it was justified. He was justified. And I'm gonna let you guys know this now, because I have to do a part 2 on the situation because we're running out of time. So tune in to part 2. Yeah, I'm gonna do a part 2. It's called Black Lives. Does it really matter? Because I'm gonna end that off and go into part 2 before we run out of time. So please like, share, comment. Let me know what you think about, the George Floyd. Let me know what you think about the man that, spent 20 years over 2 T-shirts. Let me think about even this case. We're gonna roll over into the next segment talking about this case, and then we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mwah. Hello, you guys. This is your girl Queen Queen, and this is the Boomerang Effect. This is part 2 of Does Black Lives Really Matter? So if you was listening to part 1, I had to wrap it up because we was running out of time. So let's finish up and proceed from where I left off. Now we was talking about the Brian situation, the 16-year-old lady that basically had got shot. She had got shot Police officer let off 4 gunshots. Only one had hit her. So therefore, I was like explaining how a lot of people was on the fence. Some people feel like that the police officer was justified because the young lady came out there swinging a knife in full attack mode, so he could not just stood back there and let her start stabbing people. And then some people feel like that it could have been de-escalated. He could have tased her. He could have pepper sprayed her. He could have did whatever else he could have took before he basically start letting off gunshots. And I do believe that because let's just be honest. Now you have what was the white boy that set up there and went into a whole church house? You see what I'm saying? And he didn't earth off all these shots and stuff like that and killed all these black innocent church members and stuff like that. And y'all sit up here and y'all escort him out with a bulletproof vest, a damn little helmet, like he ride the slow bus. Cause y'all ain't oh yeah, y'all walking out there walking out like he's like y'all the armor bearer, like he the president. You see what I'm saying? Y'all got people on the side, on the back, whatever, because y'all want to make sure that he get in the right type of custody. But yeah, when it come down to stuff like this, y'all had the you feel like shooting, y'all feel like putting your knee on somebody's neck. You know, I'm trying to tell you, you guys, it's something about this black melony aroma that we just give out to people. They are intimidated. You see what I'm saying? On the sight of us. So a lot of people was on the fence. And like I said, I was reading off what the neighbors had said, which the neighbors agreed, and they was on the police officer side. I kind of want to go back to something that what the first neighbor had said. He was like pulling up in the driveway when he saw the fight unfolding on Tuesday. He told the Columbus Dispatch they were calling each other to beware, so I figured it was just a girl fight. He recalled a screaming match escalating on walking back into his home. When police arrived, he said he heard 4 shots as his wife Rachel dove to the floor. The neighbor went to the window where he saw Brian's lifeless body on the ground. It was violent, and all just happened so fast. So, okay, let's just get into this because he's agreeing with the cops. But you basically said you didn't even see what actually occurred. You didn't say nothing about you seen her waving a knife. All you said you remember was 2 ladies going back and forth calling each other the B word. Now I do know how the saying goes, especially when you stay in certain neighborhoods or you stay in the hood or whatever. We have a don't ask, don't tell policy, and if it don't apply, let it fly. You know, we the type of people that we didn't grow up around gunshots and all type of crazy stuff. If it don't apply to us, we will go ahead and ignore it. I didn't see people find dead in my face and then told them excuse me, and then I didn't walked off like I ain't see nothing because it's none of our business. That's what we was taught to mind our business. You see what I'm saying? Even with kids, when you all in when the kids be all in the business, or you was a kid, you was always in the business. What's your mom and dad like? Mind your business. Don't worry about what's going on. Don't worry about what we're talking about. So we have been wrong and groomed and taught to mind our business. But it's sad to say that he just felt like, okay, there's just 2 black girls out there fighting, calling each other B words. With this, I'm not saying that you should have went over there and got in the mix of trying to figure out what happened, but you know. You definitely should have, especially about this being your neighborhood, you should have looked into it. You should have been like, wait a minute, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because just that fast, them gunshots and that stuff escalated. It could have been worse. And then what if one of those gunshots would have sit up there and went into your house? But like you say, you done went in and out the car. You went to go get your groceries, come back in, do this and do that. Oh, by the time I made it back in the house and settled in, gunshot, it happened so fast. But you agreeing that it was justified for the police to shoot. Come on now. So yeah. The other neighbor, the second neighbor was like, he also heard gunshots. On Tuesday, he also recalled seeing the police perform CPR on Bryant after watching body camera footage. He says, I believe in truth and facts. Video doesn't lie. He says she was in full attack mode. He added she needed to be stopped at that point. That young lady life was at stake. So he felt that he didn't see it. He did hear the gunshots, but he was like, by looking at the video, he do agree that, the girl was in full attack mode. But come on now, did she deserve to die? We not saying, and it's more so not even a debate of, oh, okay, was she in the right or wrong? It's more so in a debate of, did she have to die? And then that's when people start trying to analyze, okay, the situation. Because this time I feel, you come to my house on my property where I lay my head in, it could go both ways. We can keep it cordial, we could get raw with it. You see what I'm saying? Like we going to war. You know what I'm saying? I hope you came with some war put under your eyes because you might not leave out of here alive. I got into an altercation, and this is crazy because it was with a set of neighbors. People don't know. People that meet my only probably my mom and like two or three other people that personally know me know about this incident. I had to end up moving and everything. I had got into it with my neighbors. And remind you, it had been going on for years. I have been tortured, tormented. Like I really feel like I was never scared of them, but it was more so of I'm looking at the fact that we stay across the hall from each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to get kicked out these apartments. I have kids and stuff like that. You don't have nothing to lose because at the end of the day, they was some bums. Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it real. They was, they didn't have no job, didn't really have nothing going on for themselves. So I had to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes you gotta think to yourself, when you can mess with one person, and even if you win, lose, or draw, you have been there lost out on more because they ain't got nothing. They ain't got no car, they ain't got no job, they barely even got a place to stay, and they want you out there like you on Love and Hip Hop or WWE. So I had let this situation go so many times. Like I have let little small stuff go. So one particular day I was not in the mood. Long story short, we got into an altercation. They ended up jumping me, but Queen. Queen came with the uppercut. Pop, 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 pop. They couldn't hold me. And I stand on it. You see what I'm saying? I stand on it. Yeah, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm gonna let you know this now. I definitely regretted it because even though I let all that build up in me, and when I finally did snap, I defended myself. I really did feel like I lost at the end of the day because what was eating them up was I wasn't feeding into the drama. I wasn't feeding into their negativity and what they were spewing out there and their hatred towards me. And then they feel like, oh, she thinks she better. Ain't nothing gonna get to her cool. So the day that I did snap, it's so funny because she just went out the blue. She just went off on us. No, I didn't go off on you. Even my neighbors that I ain't never even said two words to, yeah, I don't know what's going on. She just snapped. Y'all know what's going on. But since I don't come out here and indulge in drama and I don't smoke and drink and I'm not your buddy, you're willing to side with somebody that y'all know for a fact that have said and made threats towards me, you know what I'm saying, behind my back. Because half of y'all was coming to me letting me know this. Like, be careful, because it's something about them. They kind of strange. They consistently always saying something or talking about you, and you be minding your business. Anyways, so that incident happened. Police come with this deal report. They had already said, well, at the end of the day, they can't file a report on you because they jumped you. Okay. So he was like, okay, the purpose had the video camera from beginning to end. So then the police was like, well, we're going to have to look at the video and stuff like that. And then we can basically, the girlfriend, because they was a gay couple, the girlfriend, we'll see if she, can you press charges on her? Because it depends on how she jumped into the fight. So I was like, okay. Police look at the footage. They called me back. They said, "Well, man, we not gonna be able to. We can't let you press charges." I said, "Why?" Cause I want to know why. Cause we did with the war. Let me tell you something. I don't care how gangsta I get. I will put them laws in your life because at the end of the day, I ain't finna be fighting no booger woods. You fight them charges. And people say, you playing law games? No, because at the end of the day, I have others. I ain't got no record. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke. I don't drink. I'm on my business. I'm not fit to be sitting over here, going back and forward. You think we finna be fighting every day, all day? We can go there, but I guarantee you ain't gonna like it. Cause one of us gonna end up dead or in jail. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed up your time. So, anyways, police set up here and said, "Oh, okay, well, you can't press charges because we see the video." I said, "Well, what's on the video?" I was like, "Well, basically, you didn't lose. They didn't get you on the ground, and you was kind of hanging in there. this white police officer told me I was hanging in there. Now I am at the time I was probably 109 or 10 pounds. And these girls was twice my size, and it was two of them. And you telling me that I can't press charges because I didn't fall down. They didn't stump me out. Well, yeah, he was like, well, and it reminds you though, the fight escalated because the girl walked towards my car in attack mode. And when she got towards my car, I let her know that the windshield is not only for driving, it can be for your head to bust you upside your head. So so yeah, so we end up they was like, well, what you should have did was you should have sat in the car and called us and then or let her or basically let her grab you from in the car. Boy, I'm from the hood. Now, I ain't never been now I'm a little square, but I ain't never been that square to let somebody full blown grab and attack me and take a butt whooping just so I can sit up there and they can go to jail. Ain't gonna happen. So I always thought the situation in the law system was so weird. I even had another incident that I was getting stalked by a particular young lady. She even came to my house, took pictures of it and everything else. And I was like, what is going on? So when I called the police, because I'm just like, this is so weird to me. Like, why would somebody be saying this and doing this? And the police set up here was like, well, we have to wait until something happens. And I feel like with the system, that is what's wrong. No, I do not feel like that every time Dick and Harry should sit over here and file a case on somebody. But I do feel like that if a person have proof, why do it have to be to the point where this person have to lay their hands on me for y'all to file charges? Because technology, the way technology is, all this cyber bullying and going back and forth and making threats on the world wide web. Y'all use the internet and everything else to troll these drug dealers and bust them. So why you ain't gonna sit up here and take somebody sit up here talking about when I see you, I'm gonna spit on you and beat you and kill you and slap your kids and everything else. Why y'all won't take that as a threat? Y'all, oh well, we gotta wait till that happen. Really? And then people are losing their life because the same young lady that sit up there and call herself trying to take pictures of my place because she was upset. I don't want people to think I'm a lot of drama, but I'm just saying she was upset and really the one of the father of my child, she was upset with him, and I guess she felt like, hey, well, I'm upset to you, I can't get to you, I'm gonna show you how crazy I am, I'm gonna stalk your baby mama. And it was just crazy, and I had shot the police, and I was just like, hey, this is weird, I'm not even with this dude, and she coming by here taking pictures and posting them online talking about, yeah, I can be wherever wherever I want to be. And I'm just like, if anything, I was building a paper trail because that was my mindset was I'm not scared of you, but I'm definitely gonna put something in place because the laws love to sit up here and say, well, did you call? Did you make a report? Do you feel like your life was threatened? Now I'm very smart. I was just trying to get a paper trail together. So when I sit up there and I run out there with that Glock. I'm just saying. When I run out there trying to defend myself, it's justified because you came to where I stay, you came to where I live at. Now I fear for my life because I'm a mama bird and I got kids. So my first thing is to be a provider and a protector. So we can keep it cordial or we can go to war. You know what I'm saying? So the choice is yours. So I told the police that they didn't do nothing about it. They feel like, well, hey, she's not here. They seen the pictures. I didn't show them where the girl that posted information out online. They felt like that wasn't good enough evidence. They was just like, well, next time you see her, just call the police, and hopefully she's still here. We'll arrest her. Do you not know that girl doing 10 years in jail? Because what did she do? A couple of years after that, she ran over a young lady over her boyfriend. Another dude she started talking to. And I was just saying to myself, if these police officers would have took the situation serious the 3 or 4 years before when I reported and I said up here said this girl had something wrong with her, then a lot of this stuff would have been prevented. So let me know what you guys think about this situation. That was definitely a topic. Everybody, are you on the fence? Do you feel like that it was justified? Do you feel like that she should have never came out there with a knife? Or do you feel like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we can keep it cordial, we can go to war if you come up to my property? You feel like our bets are off. Our understanding is off when it come down to somebody when it come down to you protecting your household. So okay, I'm gonna get into this last story about a tennis team was killed by police inside his school. Here's what we know. Bear with me, it's a long thing. News that a 17-year-old black high school student did not actually shoot an officer before police killed him inside a school bathroom last week is prompting calls for police body camera footage and involvement of a civil rights attorney. Officer fatally shot Anthony Thomas Jr., a junior at Austin East Magnet High School in Knoxville, Tennessee on April the 12th after Knoxville Police Department responded to a report of someone possibly armed with a handgun inside the school. In the interview with Knoxville News reporter, local parent Regina Perkins says she called the police after her teen daughter, who had been dating Thomas, came home early from school with signs of physical abuse. But Perkins says that she never described Thomas as armed with a gun and isn't sure how police got that information. I regret making that call. Now, I wish we would have dealt with it differently, she told the local paper. Authorities said that when the police arrived at the school and confronted the teen, he refused to come out of the bathroom. Police initially said a confrontation happened and that Thomas shot a school resource officer, prompting officers to return fire, killing him. However, the Tennessee Bureau of Information later clarified that according to examination, the bullet that struck the school resource officer was not from Thomas' gun. Local authorities have released few details about the shooting. The TBI, which is handling the case, has referred all questions on the case to Knox County District Attorney, which declined to answer. The officer has been working around the clock to quickly but thoroughly examine the evidence being collected into this investigation. Perkins said Thomas had a 9 month relationship with her daughter and that she had asked the school to help separate both students due to their physical altercation, which led to 2 school suspensions when her daughter came home from school early on April the 12th with marks on her face. Missing hair. Perkins said they first tried calling Thomas' mother, but was unable to reach her. She then called the police to file a domestic assault report. Perkins said she had been texting with Thomas and had told him that an officer was coming to the school to speak with him. I am sorry, and I never meant for anyone to happen. I am so sorry, and I never meant for anything to happen to him, she said to the reporter. We are mourning. My daughter is grieving the loss of her first love. We also want to answer injustice in this case. Attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the families of George Floyd and many others, he had a statement. He had said, "This is Anthony Thomas Jr., a 17-year-old teen killed last week by Knoxville PD in his school bathroom. They first said Anthony shot a cop before another returned fire, but now meet the cop accidentally shot himself. Why isn't anyone talking about this? We must demand answers." Okay, so let's get into this. Ooh, let me take a little sip. It is so good to read up on stuff and doing your own information because I'm not even gonna lie. When I first heard about this story, it was through word of mouth, like through other people that was either doing a podcast on this, and this is not what they was talking about. That was making it juicy. They was juicing that story all the way up. So I definitely was interested in what's going on. At the end of the day, this young man is dead. We definitely cannot. It is sad to say another young black man is dead. And the thing about it is that, which is so cold blooded and sick, is the simple fact is that they shot the gun because they thought that he shot the gun at the police officer, all over a report of the mother, which is a white woman. I ain't trying to play the race game, but a white woman reporting that her daughter was abused by a black man, a black young man, and he is armed. She said she don't know how they got that report, but that's what the cops are saying. That's why the cops are saying that they didn't have no choice. They just knew that he already had shot, because they claimed that when the police officer went in there to try to get him or talk to him, they started scuffling. Next thing you know, he shot himself. The police officers outside that's waiting on him to get him out or whatever, they just went in there and started shooting because they just knew he just didn't shot the police officer. And then the whole time the police officer gun had went off and he shot himself. First of all, look how this is. Look how crazy. Are y'all listening? Does Black Lives really matter? This boy that lost his life over a school puppy love. I'm gonna say it. Puppy love. Then this woman had the nerve to sit up here and say she ain't never meant for all this to happen. You ain't never this whole we grieve and we mourning too of my daughter first love. First of all, if he was abusive, they was together for 9 months. If he was abusive towards her the first time, this should have been shut down. This should have been shut down. This should have been out the equation for them to even be talking. And then you talking about stuff that you had asked multiple times for them to be separated. Now, I'm not gonna just, and that's another thing too. I hated that people just kind of dismissed the situation about the girl being abused or whatever, and felt like it was just a made up story, because abuse is something serious to take. So if the girl was abused, and if they have proof of this girl having marks in her pulled there, I'm trying to figure out why when she checked herself out. Come on now, somebody. Why when she checked herself out of school? Because she did called you talking about, oh yeah, me and so and so, me and Anthony got into it again and with this. Why when you sit up here and tell her that, okay, check yourself out and come home? Why did the school counselor intervene? Why did the principals and stuff like that? When did this physical abuse happen? It was on school. So you telling me they let this girl come to the office with bruises, scratches, and marks, and her pull it there and let her check herself out with your permission and go home, and they didn't look into it, and then you call back up to that school talking about some this and that. He armed, blah, blah, this and that. And then you tell the boy, oh, the police is looking, police gonna be looking for you and this and that. You are antagonizing. He is a young black man. He trying to, you as a white woman. He trying to figure out what the hell is going on. You done told these people that I'm up here. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter didn't already went home and told you that I didn't beat up, or you know what I'm saying, or she done told you she done had some more issues out of me. I don't know where your mindset is at. You texting me talking about the police gonna be looking for me type stuff. And then when they look for him, yes, he's scared. He's on the defense. He's like, oh my God, how's they gonna come at me? What's gonna go down? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. You guys, it's way more to that story. Look into that story. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on the situation. If you looked into it, if you read up on it, even if you read up on it now, let me know what you guys think about it. I really do think that it is sad to sit up here and say this. This young man, once again, another young person, lost their life. 17 years old. A girl, 16 years old, and lost her life. And you know what I'm saying? This when he done lost his life behind love, a puppy love. A female that he probably wasn't even gonna be with. A female that he wasn't even with for a whole year. And your son then lost his life because the police did not know how to detain him. Same way with him. He's scared to come out the restroom, and he don't want to come out the restroom until, because he don't feel safe. And it's four police officers out there looking for him. He nervous, he's scared. Cause he don't know how y'all gonna handle him. Truth be told, y'all can sit up here and uppercut him and beat him in his face and eye and break his bones, and then swearing now that he was being aggressive. We don't know what type of trauma and turmoil this man had went through. This young boy had went through for him to be on attack mode. I know I know black men have been through the system so much at a young age to the point where they automatically are traumatized. You see what I'm saying? Because they have been abused by the police and they have been sit over here and accused of different stuff and have not done it. So it's traumatizing. So just imagine he already knowing that, okay, her mama white, she didn't called up here, the daughter did this. His life probably flashed before his eyes. He's 17 finna be 18. So yeah, he's 17. He know he ain't going to no little jail. He ain't going to no juvenile. He going to the big dog jail with real killers and rapers and murders and stuff like that. You think he want to be in jail in that time? He didn't beat up a white girl or a biracial girl? Yeah, it's pressure. We don't know what was going through his mind. So that's why I say, do Black lives really matter? When we look at this situation and they so quick to sit over here and de-escalate a situation when it come down to a white boy coming up there from out of town and shooting protesters and stuff like that, or a white boy sitting over here and next thing you know say he going into an all black church and shooting out everybody, and they know how to de-escalate them when they get on the scene. They know how to sit up here and use them, and these people coming with rifles. These people coming, you know what I'm saying, with that pressure, heavy machinery. I didn't sit up here and seen videos where you had white people sitting over here basically not only talking noise. Mike Eflin used to always joke about that too, like how it's a difference when a black person get pulled over and a white person get pulled over. Black people, we the nicest say, hello, how you doing, sir? Yes, sir. We barely want to move our hands to get the idea, whatever. We nervous. We on our best behavior. White people, you pull their ass over, soon as you did turned off your light to get out the car. Here they come, they jump in the car. What is I'm getting pulled over for? What are you putting me on for? You give me your manager, your chief, but you don't feel threatened. A black person could never. That goes for a black female. That goes for a black male. That goes for a teenager. We could never get away with half of what these other people do. Look at how the protesters, y'all sit up here and do nothing for them white people that sit up there and ride the White House. They didn't do nothing. I ain't seen nobody get pepper spray, taser, or sit up here and get gunned down. They out of all them protesters, only one. That's it. But in a peaceful protest, y'all sitting out there with tear gas and everything else. Come on, somebody. So do black lives really matter? Or is it just a myth? Is it just something to sit over here and say? Is we really spinning in our truth? Do you think that this situation with racism is going to get better or worse? Do you feel like the George Floyd incident probably opened up doors where we can see clearly now the rain is gone? Or do you feel like it's only going to get worse? I'm going to tell you this now. It's only going to get worse in my eyes. We got to be ready because these killings are happening earlier and earlier. They not killing, you know what I'm saying, just a certain people with a certain age. My 8-year-old, which he'll be 8 in October, he's a threat to society when he become a little bit taller and his voice get deeper. He'll still be my son and an underage kid, but in the eyes of a threatened police officer or whatever, they'll look at him like a monster and a beast. No matter where he come from, no matter how educated he is, you still just another nigga in some of these people's eyes. So I'm gonna wrap up this situation with the Black Lives Part 1 and 2. Please listen to both. Please let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, share. It is a message button where you can leave a message, and if you don't want to type up nothing, just leave me a message and let me know what you think, and I'll listen to it. Thank you guys so much. Mwah. Till next time.